To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Start your engines!
And for the first time this season, the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, is underway at Daytona.
Sorry for the wait. Didn't think I'd come up, y'all just need a little faith. I've been patient, just waiting.
It's killing this line because the corner can't complete the pass, and he's sideways off the corner, and he held on to it. Oh, Shadow gets turned into turn number 3. McWhorter, Klinger, all in the outside wall. Caution is out. We're going to get a late race restart. Joshua Banks coming out of turn number 4, win number 6 in Saturday Night Racing League. First of the season for the 35. He gets it done in Dover.
The new winner this season, the 09 of Chad Klinger, off of turn 4. He will be victorious tonight at Phoenix. But the 73 of Joseph McWhorter is going to be your season 2 champion. Here he comes off of turns 3 and 4. It sounds like he saved enough the old Seth Hatchell with an excellent strategy. Is going to win here tonight at Kentucky Speedway.
Banks takes him 3 wide down the backstretch for the lead. Look at this, 3 wide again. The top 3 still 3 wide for the lead. Banks on the inside, right in the middle, Kevin to the outside.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind. This is my prime. Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind.
Pull those belts tight. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League, only on VSPEED.
Well, we've got new music, we've got a new season, but what is the same is Saturday Night Racing League is ready to bring flag-to-flag coverage live here on VSPEED. And what's also the same, we're going to go to Daytona to start it off the right way. Live here tonight in Florida, it's the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. Welcome in, everybody. A new animation as well. Vibrant look here. Complete overhaul of the stream. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Alongside me here tonight, we've got Connor Horn up in the booth. Connor, I gotta say, after 3 seasons, it's incredible to say that we have 3 different champions. There has been no dominant driver throughout all 3 of those seasons. Multiple winners all the way through. Take a look at these champions. Jeff Wright, Season 1. Joseph McWhorter, Season 2. And then our recent champion defending here, Joshua Banks.
Been a pretty incredible start. I'd say start to this league. It's not really a start at this point. It's just a league that's growing, still expanding. Have a Challenger Series that we cover, or that happens earlier. Judson Curtis, the winner of that. Maybe he'll be one of these champions if he continues in this league. But Wright, McWhorter, Banks, those are the 3 names you sort of think of when it comes to Saturday Night Racing League. But as far as Season 4 goes, it could be anyone's game. So many starters for this race alone. We'll see a lot of entries for the first few races, and you'll see who is the best of the best competition. So many new names, so many returning names. Maybe we see our first repeat champion. Who knows? Maybe we do see someone who dominates this season and wins majority of the races. But last season, that wasn't the case. We saw so many different winners last season, and that leaves me to believe that we're going to see the same sort of incredible competition this season. And what better way to start it than the World Center of Racing?
Yeah, I mean, if we're taking statistics into account, I think there's a very high chance that we're going to see multiple winners and a different champion at the end of this thing. But we take a quick look at your schedule here. It's actually just similar to what we have at the Challenger Series. Of course, we start off with Daytona in Texas, Auto Club, Kern County. That's the first asterisk in that book.
That's a fun one.
That's a lot of tracks here that we gotta go through that are not quite the same. I think there's 5 tracks in total, but all in all, we stick with the 5-race chase as we saw before, and the Challenger Series has, expanded. You talked about how it's growing, but I mean, you got 2 series now with the Challenger running just before here on SNR, and we have like 50 drivers, roughly like 48 people trying to get into this session tonight.
Yeah, 47 tried to attempt tonight. 5 of them did go home. But this is going to be a pretty wild first few weeks to see who makes the fields every week, who can maybe race in both races. We still haven't seen anyone win a race in both the Challenger Series and the main series. Maybe we see that for the first time this season, but there's definitely going to be a lot of moving parts. It's Season 4, probably the biggest season of SNRL yet, and you could tell this schedule is all over the place in the best of ways, because you got returning tracks like New Hampshire. What a battle that was. What a show that was last season. Kansas as well, Charlotte, Bristol. Bristol back on the schedule, but then you got Canadian Tire, a very different one. Kern County, I'm most excited for that track. That should be really fun. So this is definitely going to be the biggest season yet.
Well, we have the wrong track map up there, and that's the end of the season there last season. Let's get Daytona up there proper, and that's where we are right here. Challenger Series also here at this venue, 2.5 mile, 31 degrees of banking, opened back February 1959. This track, everyone's familiar with it. It doesn't really need an introduction. It is the premier start to a lot of series, and both in the virtual world and in the real life. But what is a little bit different? Well, we got to talk about our race analysis here before we get to our grid. You got a lot of drivers out here that are trying to figure out exactly where they need to be at the end of this thing. Race analysis is completely broken here. Let's try that. There we go. 100 laps, 55 mile per hour speed limit on pit road. The same 4 tire sets available though, and it will be 3 green, white checkers as opposed to the 2 that we had just prior to this event. But with that, let's take you trackside now. Get that grid up on your screen. Starting on the pole here tonight, it's going to be Tyler Dohar in the 77 with a 49.411. Just good enough by about 7 1/1000ths of a second over Oscar Jensen for that top spot. Julio Villalobos Jr., 29 graphics comes to mind. He'll have that on the hood and VSPEED just right next to it. He'll start in the 3rd position. Dakota Floyd in the Ray Brigg number 57 will start in the 4th position. Then we have Joseph McWhorter, the defending champion. Well, one of the defending champions, Season 2. He'll start in the 5th position. Eddie Trejo in 6th spot. You have Chad Klinger, winner at Phoenix, with Ryan Carwile to his outside. And rounding out your top 10 is Lucas Lyons in the 27, Nick Wood in the 32.
Got all sorts of new names mixed again with the names that have been here since Season 1. Alex Bell making what's likely his final league start for at least a long while. He'll start 11th tonight at Daytona. Adam Cabot, Super Speedway winner. He's won 2 times in a row at Talladega. He'll try to get the win at Daytona in this series. He starts 12th. 13th position, Philip Brewer, a staple of the series in the Zinn Wintergreen 44 car, starting alongside Joseph Sullivan in the number 1, a new name to me completely. Andrew Telganoff, not a new name to me, but he's new to this series. He's new, at least, I don't think he raced last season except maybe one race. He'll start 15th in the Denny Hamlin scheme. Michael Sturgill, always in the number 3, will start in the 16th position alongside him. He stole Andy's number. Rob Hamp will start in the 17th position. Came on, he got a little bit better as the season went on last season. 18th position, Noah Mahalski, another staple of the series in the 03 car, looking for bigger and better things after making the chase. 19th position, Christopher Hodges to number 51. Will start just inside the top half of the field alongside the Hunt Brothers Pizza at number 83 of Kyle Peacock, and that is basically your top half of the field.
21st will go to Jeff Wright, Season 1 champion. Casey Lakatos will start in 22nd. 23rd will go to the 87 of Broderick Vaklavic. I think I got that correct. And Benjamin Richards in 24th. 25th, Brian Chambliss, Rob Denton will start 93rd. James Lehman will start 27th. Ray Massey, 28th. Then you have J.R. Shepard, Reggie Ortega, 29th and 30th. 31st goes to Matt Shanoski, Austin Belke in 32nd. Going on through this field, go ahead and take it away there.
A lot more people in this field. We still got a ways to go. Caleb Weekley's been in this series since Season 1. He'll start 33rd. A lot of work to do tonight alongside Brandon Wallace, who had some decent runs last season, but a lot of trouble last season as well. He's in the Bud scheme in the 34th position. That's where he timed in at least. 35th position, right in behind the 13, will be Bailey Turner in the 24. He's always at the front at the end of these races. Donnie Kite is going to start 35th. Excuse me, I got that wrong. I was a row ahead. Donnie Kite starts in the 33rd position. Angel Horonis in the 34th position. Then you got Bailey Turner in 37th. In that Coca-Cola scheme, new scheme to me. I don't see him in that very often. Stephen Davis will start in the 38th position. The Miller Genuine Draft scheme looks pretty sporty. And then just inside the top 40, Nick Hapiak in the 06, bringing the Ford Zero back into this series, I should say. He starts 39th. Mike Sturgill in the number 28 starts 40th.
A few more cars to talk about here. Got Bryce Shoemaker in the 54. Joshua Banks, the defending champion, as I was trying to allude to on defending champions, in 41st and 42nd. And then Kenny Kibbe will start in the 43rd position. Well, it was one of those you had to qualify to get in. Some of these cars still out on the racetrack here. It's a little all over the place. Some of these guys making it in. I don't know if they're delaying the green. We're told
all these guys that are on track, I believe, are in the field.
So we took 47 drivers, it looks like.
There's some drivers that are off track. I believe Broderick Vaklavic, Benjamin Richards, Stephen Davis, Mike Sturgill are not in the field, so we might have 44 out there. I can't tell, but either way, even without those guys, it's a huge field.
Yes, it is. And let's tee off for season number 4, Saturday Night Racing, live at Daytona for the 4th time. Second time today we've been live here on VSPEED with a new leader. Sideways, Trejo.
There it goes. It's going to be a big crash already. Alex Bell, McWhorter's in that. Ray Massey's in that. Brewer's got big damage. You can kind of see that happening. There was a lot of huge bumping going on there.
Right out of the gate, it's kind of the opposite of what we saw in the Challenger Series. We back this replay up. This is coming down the back straightaway. You see a car stuck out in the middle. A car pulls down. I think that's the 51 of Hodges.
Made the right decision.
Yeah. Where does it all come undone here?
Starts with the 21. 21 at the front is the first car I saw get sideways of Eddie Trejo. Second in line on the bottom. See, a little squirrely there. And the 77 got almost, I can't tell if he went down on his own, but he went below with double yellow. Maybe with some contact. Trejo actually does a great job saving it, but in the stack up, everything breaks loose. Ralph Hamp got big air. He almost went over in the hit. Unfortunately, Alex Bell, his last league race for a while, got off to a pretty poor start because of that. It's like a stack-up happened. It's like the 77 was not square on Trejo and got scared, so he pulled low, and then he ended up hitting the 21 anyways. So bump drafting got wrong. It's a key thing of cup rate, the cup cars at super speedways. You need to know how to bump draft, or else it's not going to work.
You see there on the outside how fast that bottom line had fallen back. We'll watch right here with the 21. He's going to drop down in front, down the backstretch. Not quite clear there for the outside. But watch right here. He gets up to that bumper, and it's going to be a push all the way through the tri-oval. Nope, he gets below the apron, and that's where it goes wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if he got hit down there or went down on his own, but that's what kind of sets it off. And then Alex Bell got a big bump from Philip Brewer. And that's what started the huge part of the wreck off there, as those two kind of got together. But it starts because the 77 just goes to the apron. Can't quite tell. I think he saw Trejo move up a little bit and then figured that he was giving him the bottom, and then he didn't move up anymore. So a little miscommunication, error on maybe a few people there, but you get about 5, 6 plus cars already pretty heavily damaged.
First yellow of the night. Cars coming down pit road. Going to play a little bit of strategy. And then when we were talking about the Challenger Series, they had enough fuel to make it one stop. Don't know if that's going to be the case here tonight.
Probably not. I think you'll need at least 2 stops. And these cup cars, they have bigger tanks, but it feels like they get empty rather quickly. We ran, I believe, the Xfinity Series cars for the Challenger Series, so these cup cars, I mean, they're completely different. I believe you're at least going to need 2 stops. You might even need 3, but with this very quick yellow, maybe we can cut out a pit stop. We'll just have to wait and see, but the racing is going to be completely different. The bump drafting is going to be completely different. The runs you get are much bigger. You're going to have to block a little bit more aggressively to keep your position on track, and the blocks are going to go bad more times than not in these cup cars. We've already had one race at Daytona in these cup cars. That was season number 2. Reggie Ortega took the checkered flag season number 2. We talk about we have 3 champions of the series. Well, we have 3 winners at Daytona. Ortega season 2 in the cup car. Then in the Gen 4 cars, Eric Cotton won 3/1000ths of a second over Joshua Banks. And then last season in the Xfinity Series cars, Bailey Turner took the checkered flag. He's trying to go back to back, but in different cars. But the real point is that these are going to race a lot differently than the Xfinity Series cars that we already saw tonight. It's just every single aspect is completely different.
Side draft, a major factor. We alluded to that there when we saw the middle line pull up through the middle. There was Kyle Peacock doing it by himself to get up to the front. He went from 7th position all the way up to the lead. Not going to be the case here tonight. These cars, very aero dependent. They're a little back down on power as well. And you're going to be so dependent on the guy in front of you. That's why we see such big wrecks, but that's also why we see such a big run when these guys get connected.
And one thing about these cars that are just a little bit different now than when we last saw them at a super speedway, yes, they're tanks. So if you get some damage, you'll probably get it repaired back to full strength. But something that's a little bit different now, a new update to iRacing, if you get a meatball, like your suspension brakes or your engine blows, you can't just wait 10-30 minutes and get back on track. You're done. You get a meatball, you're done. So we already have some drivers out of the race, like Philip Brewer and Case Lacatus, the 44 and the 50, seemingly already out of this race. So that's something you gotta kind of worry about a little bit. Yes, these things are tanks. Yes, they're very strong, and you can repair them back to full strength, but that's only if you don't completely total a part of the car, because that meatball means you are done for the day. And we already have a lot of cars with damage out there at the very start of this race, and we're working lap 5, coming to a restart already.
Getting ready to go back green. Barely got the first lap completed across that line. We're on board here with the 05 James Lehman. There he is, looking locked in and focused. Got a lot of racing left to do. But if you are on this field right now, Connor, what's your mentality? You've had a caution this early in the race. What do you do? What's your approach?
I survive. At a field like this, there's a lot of new names. You don't know if you're gonna be able to work with everyone. You got your normal names that you're pretty confident in, but a field this big, a race this long, I don't want to really be testing it too hard at the front right now. So I'm just trying to survive until maybe 20-30 to go. With the runs these Cup cars get, you can wait a long time and get to the front.
Here we go. Second time pace car pulls off. Ray Brigg 57, the command car. Green flag is out. Adam Cadavit is up 11 positions to the outside, and he gets a great run here. He'll take it into turn 1.
Might get a black flag out of that. As a matter of fact, I think he does have a black flag from iRacing. Maybe too good of a restart. We'll see if that gets reviewed or not, but for the time being, he goes to the point. Just like where he was the last time he went through Super Speedway in Alabama, where he took the checkered flag. The Lobos pushing him to the front. Former Daytona winner Ortega in 3rd, Sturgill 4th, Carlisle and Floyd 5th and 6th. Looks like that one cleared, by the way. So he's all good. Cabot's your leader.
I wonder if that flag was cleared because the 45 didn't give him much of a choice there. he kind of got surged on past there, and maybe a missed shift there from the 57. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe the wrong gear. A number of factors, but the outside is already pulled ahead, almost 6 car lengths now. 7 as they come to 1 and 2. And here comes the 11 on the outside. It's Andrew Telmanoff on the high line of your previous leader for this restart.
Yeah, that's the initial start and a restart, and we've already seen both times the bottom line has not worked. So much so they're trying to dump Dakota Floyd out, or they're trying to dump the pusher out. Nick Wood was pushing Dakota Floyd, and they clearly weren't doing much. They're almost already outside the top 10. Now they're really jumbled up. Wood got sideways off the bumper of Chad Klinger. As you can see how tight bump drafting can be, you got to be very precise with your bumps. You hit him in the left rear at the wrong time, you are going to cause a crash. You got to hit him in the middle best you can, but the problem is if you push on the right rear, which is the safest part of the bumper, it slows both of your cars down, and you have to push on the left rear for speed. So you have to push on the left rear, but you got to do it at the right time. Also got to worry about the stack-ups into the corner with lines this huge, with this many cars. The stack-ups are going to be huge. You're going to go from 200 miles an hour probably down to 185, 180. You got to be aware of that at all times, and you got to be calling it out on the radio to your other competitors as well.
31 down on the apron, and I can guarantee you that Chad Klinger has taken the plate number off the back of that 32. He goes to the inside, finds the back of the 48 of Jeff Wright. They're going to try to clear some of these cars up.
You're already 3 by 3. Some drivers impatient, wanting to get to the front, wanting to be aggressive. So we're not really seeing anyone in this top 20 laying back right now. Everyone's just trying to go. Speaking of going, Donnie Kite getting to the front. He just took the lead for a brief moment, but couldn't do it. But you can see how frantic this is. These cars do not handle that well, especially when they got maybe bumper to bumper to bumper traffic going on. They'll handle a lot worse when you're 3 by 3 like this. So everyone's on edge.
Down the back stretch, Adam Cabot, Donnie Knight, Lavos. And the 3 in the middle of Sturgill. There's 3 wide there for the second position. Now a push here on Cabot running both lanes.
Whoa, big sideways for Villalobos. The bumping on the inside is just not working as well right now. Sturgill just content with bumping the 17, getting him to the front, getting away from all that. The 45 got shot sideways again. Now they're going to go for the lead. Here goes Sturgill, help from Kyle Peacock for the race lead. Ortega, Carwell, Turner, they're going to have to check up on the high side, but that time the bottom line got the surge they needed.
Not very often you see in this car that the bottom line prevails, but they're still pretty wide. 4 or 5 rows deep here. 09 in the middle. Next with the 3 of Sturgill. Gonna try to get him back up. That's a teammate.
It just shows how crazy the runs can be. You'll go from leading, going 200 miles an hour down the back straightaway to getting freight train going 190, and just like that, you'll be outside the top 10. That's how quickly it happens at the World Center of Racing with these Cup cars. It is
Bailey
absolutely
Turner
intense.
saw that. Bailey Turner saw that. You saw that block, right, Connor?
Yeah, he does. I mean, that's a Bailey Turner block if ever I've seen one. I mean, that 3 had so much momentum, but he had to get up in front of it just to take away his momentum, because at least at this point in the race, he knows Michael Sturgill's not just going to run through him. Later in the race, Sturgill's not lifting, but right now, I think he knows that he had to take advantage of Sturgill a little bit, because you know he's going to lift when he's got nowhere to go, and now he's going to go for the race lead, and now he's got no help. He'll drop to the bottom, get help from his buddy Cabot, and then they'll get a good push at a turn number 4.
Well, here we go. We're a lap led back-to-back, and into the wall. Big
there
wreck.
we go. Telganov, Cabot. Oh, man, we're still wrecking. Mahovsky's got some damage. There goes Rob Denton around. Still crashing at the back as well with the 06. That happened in a hurry.
I thought for sure the 83 was going to lead that time by. He makes it away pretty minor. A lot of cars involved in that one.
That's the second pretty big crash. 17 looks like he might be okay. Once again, a lot of the crashing happened behind where the initial incident happened. This looked like a bad push gone wrong at the top of the racetrack here between Telganov and Peacock. We get a good view of it on board the 11 right there. Hits him in the right rear, not even, and just puts him into a wall, and then he loses control because of a stack up on the top.
The 03 and Mahalski has nowhere to go. Let's go on board with him.
Not gonna be able to see much. Can't even see the initial incident happen. You see a puff of smoke, and then you see a lot of smoke. You're like, okay, there's a crash happening, and it was nowhere to go. Telganov was right in the middle of the road.
I mean, it did a phenomenal job, though, to not get too destroyed on that. Would have been a lot worse there for the 03. It does pick up a little bit of damage. The 57.
7 might be able to survive that. Ortega got some damage out of it. You're gonna see a lot of drivers pit this time, but that's just how easy it is to get someone sideways with one bad push. If you do it at the front of the field, it's gonna get pretty bad, and it's gonna bring almost everyone into pit road, whether they got damage or not. See Sturgill staying out, as does Chad Klinger, but all the other drivers still left in the race are gonna get some tires, fuel, and or damage repair. When you got 40 cars on pit road, you gotta be careful about pit road incidents. Can't just look away from pit road. You never know when you might see some contact, as Peacock's off pit road first, likely with fuel only.
Virgil?
Oh, there goes Fright. What was I just saying? He just got spun on pit road. It's not safe at 55 miles an hour either, folks. That was perfect timing. Oh man, VSPEED Instant Replay getting a quick workout. This was after everyone got in their stalls. Oh, Trejo's coming in. Just tags Jeff Wright. Certainly unintentional.
He doesn't even see him.
I don't think he ever looked left. I think he reset after that, actually.
That's probably not the answer. He was at his stall.
At least it's a quick tow. The virtual towers are probably like, dude, just push it into the stall. What was I just saying? It's yes, it's a wide pit lane, but you got 40 cars. You got guys at the back getting into their stalls, guys at the front getting out of their stalls. That's bound to happen. It's not the last time it's going to happen.
No. Well, you know what? I think this is an opportunity.
It's an opportunity for.
I think we bring up the 35. I think we talk with Joshua Banks, the defending champion here. Saturday Night Racing.
I say let's do it.
Well, Reggie, I'm behind you now.
Hey, Joshua Banks, it's Bradley Cooper, Connor Horn in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, brother.
Hey, man, defending champion. A little bit of carnage here. You're able to avoid it, but that got a little crazy up the front.
Oh, I don't know what we're doing up here, like going crazy for lap 10 and all. I'm just trying to settle in and not ride. I want to race, but not go, balls to the wall like we're racing on lap 99. So it's fun, but it's crazy. And so just try to keep the car straight, keep the fenders on it, and make sure we don't die.
Season 3 champion, though, and a sponsor here at Saturday Night Racing League. I got to say, you really put it together there in that last season. You've had wins in all 3 seasons, though. You've been up front for a lot of this. What do you think about Daytona as a whole?
It's a luck track with this car, man. With other cars, the Xfinity, or the Gen 4s or something, you can kind of, it's weird. It's different. You can kind of, I don't know how to word it, but you can choose your fate there. But here, it's like you basically, the runs are so strong and everything, and you can get to the back to the front so quickly. Everybody's got a chance to do something. So it's definitely tough. Many races have been ran here by me. I've been running Daytona for a long time, along with everybody else, but not very many wins here. So a lot of wrecks are just finishing short. So let's hope we can keep it straight, like I said, and get this thing up front and win. Or if I'm going to, this is the call out right now. If Bell is in front of me, we're pushing him to the win. I'm calling it out right now. So letting the stream know that.
All right. Well, you also were talking to Reggie Ortega there. We'll get you back in your channel. Good luck here tonight.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
That is a 35. You're defending champion in Season 3. Joshua Banks getting ready to restart. Michael Sturgill, the command car this time. He has the 09 of Chad Klinger. They'll be side by side going into turn 1. How about for the 71 of Ryan Carwile, in and out of the stall very quickly. Green flag is out 3rd time today here, Season 4 at Daytona.
Sturgill got a really good jump there. Probably wanted to get up in front of the 09 and 71. Maybe not too sure about the pushing ability of the 83 of Peacock. He'll have Reggie Ortega pushing him on the bottom line, but once again, another restart with a higher line is going to get the huge advantage on the jump.
We see that a lot here in the Generation 7, I believe, a next-gen car. I don't really know what generation we're on.
We're good. We're still on 7.
I know that the guys in the Fords and the Toyotas have got a new instance of car, but the Camaro is going to stay the same. The Camaro doesn't exist anymore. I don't really know what generation exactly you can say that. The 7.5.
It's just Chevrolet. Just call it a branded Chevrolet, and he got a Chevrolet leading the field. We can't call it a Camaro, just call it a Chevy. And he got 2 of them at the front with 2 former winners, not at this track, but Sturgill and Klinger won in this series before. Ryan Carwile, I believe, also a former winner at least one time. Sturgill and Carwile 1 win apiece. Chad Klinger has 3 to his name. He's been looking for another one for a little while now. Could this be the day, as McWhorter, involved in the lap 1 yellow, already back to the front, looking for the 4th position to the inside of Nick Wood, out from the 26. That 26 machine of Dottie Kite.
And another SNR champion trying to work his way to the front on the bottom. There's plenty of gap there. We talk about the side draft. It doesn't really work when they're up near that wall, and you might see the 73. He's got about 7, 8 cars behind him here. Nose to tail, work his way back up here.
You also noticed the paint scheme honoring Alex Bell, who we already said making his last league start for the time being. He's actually going to have to push Bailey Turner, but he got way sideways off the front bumper of the 26 with the Napa type paint scheme honoring Alex Bell. He's got "Thank You, Alex" on the hood. And in one way or another, I think that means Alex Bell has 2 chances of going to victory lane. If the 73 goes, it counts as half a win at least, but he's got some work to do. He's got a lot of good drivers at super speedways to outduel tonight, but already in an incident and already back up to the front. It's a pretty good sign as the bottom line starts to come back. It seems to take 2 to 3 laps for that bottom line to get a run going. Once it does, it's there.
Down low for the 24 of Bailey Turner. Top spot right there in his view. He's worked his way up to the 4th position with the 73 giving a push. They push out ahead with the Juicy Spider 26. Donnie Knight not glued to that back bumper. This car, again, we talked about the differences between what we saw just prior there at 8 o'clock to what we're seeing now. Third car in line can push. That is actually what you want in this car. It goes against everything that you believe in, every instinct you have as a plate racer. This car throws it out the window.
Wow. Oh, you saw that? That's the one bad thing about this. If you don't make that block work, you get put in the middle. It's not like other cars where you are going to be able to stay up there just by having enough speed to stay up there. In the Cup car, if you get put in the middle, it does work as a sucker hole. You will go backwards immediately, and that's exactly what happened. He goes from battling for the lead to outside the top 10, or at least hovering around the top 10. Adam Cabot picked them up there, but it's one thing tough about being in the bottom line. Even if you get a run into the corner, that higher line can just come down, side draft you, and completely stall your run out. You need to have such a huge run to be able to clear at least one car on that outside line to get back to the top.
Back here at the tail end of this pack, there's a little bit of gap here forming, and you look back, I believe that's James Lehman in the 05. There's the tail end of this field with the 05, and then you go back here to Max Koss leading the second group, and they're about 2.5 seconds away. Do you think they're playing it safe here, Connor?
Well, that was one thing I was just about to note. You see the top pack getting smaller and smaller the more yellows we get, and that's not a coincidence. That's more drivers just wanting to lay back and survive instead of getting involved in a bunch of yellows for no reason. But you got to be careful laying back this far. You need to make sure that you're close enough to be able to stay in their draft and just kind of hang back. And they're doing a good job of that. Koss is keeping a safe distance right now. Most starts in Saturday Night Racing League history, 55 to be exact. Still looking for his first career win. Most starts in the series without a victory.
63 has caught the back end of this draft. He's working his way back up there. Meanwhile, we have 3 wide, about at the 5th position here. We're further back to just outside the top 10 for that actual top 3, and the 32's around.
Look out, I think he's going to be all good. Got Ray Massey going through the grass still, but somehow that was not worse than what it should have been.
Debris flying off. You saw a little bit of sparks there from the 23.
Getting all the dirt off the tires. Another new thing since we last raced on Saturday night. The dirt that kicks up on the track. It's a little bit different. They kind of refreshed that, so that'll all stay on the track and maybe play a little bit of a factor. Starts with the 32. Don't know how that wasn't bigger. Let's see, ooh, looks like McWhorter came up and turned him. Must have been maybe a bad push on the bottom. Couldn't quite tell. But how fortunate is that for a 32 to not hit anything there? Let's see, you get the angle. He's trying to side draft to 32, and just kind of looked, I couldn't really tell much from there. They just kind of came together, and the 32 got the short end of a stick. Then you saw Ray Massey off the rear bumper cam. Looks like maybe he got turned into stack up, but no damage done to the 23 car either, and this will be our best angle. Peacock behind McWhorter. Yep, that's another bad push. You saw it right there. Once the 83 barely hit off center into the right rear of McWhorter, and it shot the 73 up into Nick Wood. So that's where that happened from.
Watch right here on board with Kyle Peacock.
So bring everyone to pit road for fuel. But right there, that one little push is all it takes. It shows how sensitive these Cup cars are to any push. You have to be precise, or else that's going to happen every time. And there's Ray Massey. He just felt like going for a joyride. He meant to do that.
I don't know if it was a checkup. Maybe he was avoiding somebody. I don't think he meant to do it, but I definitely believe he was avoiding whatever's happening.
Check up. Oh yeah, I think he got hit into the 99. At least it kind of felt like it from the onboard cam that he got punted into the 99, but Couldn't tell for sure, but does a good job collecting it, not collecting anyone else. Oh yeah, he got a punt. I think that's Max Haas. Yeah. It happens when you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic like that. When a wreck happens, you can only react so well, and not everyone's reaction times are going to be the same. You're going to have some people not quite ready.
Can we quote that? You can only wreck so well. You're on VSPEED. I want to write that down as probably the best quote I've ever heard on VSPEED.
Hey, everyone's reflexes are different. That's just part of it.
Fair enough. Dakota Floyd will lead here as we get set to go back green. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Saturday Night Racing League in season number 4. Coverage will continue right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Here we are back at Daytona for season 4 of Saturday Night Racing League and their Cup Series. Dakota Floyd, Ryan Carwile, the front row. Connor Horn, Bradley Cooper up in the VSPEED booth. And here we go, back green flag for the 5th time today.
By the way, I don't think we've noted this yet, but whoever leads on lap 29, if a chartered car leads on lap 29, they get a $29 prize, courtesy of 29 Graphics. If we are just 5 laps away from that, it's not really a stage break, it's just lap 29, someone gets 29 bucks.
There you go. 29 Graphics putting some money out there.
Oh, will we make it there?
Oh, will we make it? The 83 of Peacock into the wall.
Oh, we saved it again. That one did damage that time, but somehow they kept it straight. That was Peacock and Rob Hamp. That was a big hit to the right front. I don't know how he kept it straight. Another stack up, and Hamp gets into the back of Peacock. I think that... Oh, big crash. Crash out of turn number 4. Lucas Lyons got turned around. There's no caution yet, but there's cars everywhere in the tri-oval. Somehow no one's wrecked. Somehow we're still green. Alex Bell just went through the grass and passed all of them. What in the world?
Rewind?
Alex Bell must have passed 20 cars, but 32 is who I saw get sideways all the way at the front, and I cannot believe there was no caution for that. You got cars everywhere out of turn number 2 now. Here goes Alex Bell. He just, excuse my last race, I'm past everyone in the dirt, and he almost lost it coming in front of Chad Klinger. But that completely changes this race. It just throws everyone out. It started with the 32. I couldn't quite see why the 32 got sideways, but he was the one I saw sideways ahead of everyone, not the 32. 27, I think, excuse me. I think it was Lucas Lyons, my apologies, but it was the 27 who was the first one I saw sideways. This completely changes the race.
All right, we'll back it up one more time here, and we'll go back to the live shot. But here is why this happens. Sturgill in a bad push. United Klinger gets collected.
Oh!
And then you see the 15 just say, see ya.
Pass in the grass, that's how you do it. But that, like I said, that completely changes the complexion of this race. This field is so spread out. The lead pack is only 7 cars now. The main pack is all the way back in turn 3.
And live for lap 28, and somehow we stay green. This spreads the field out tremendously. Maybe this gives them common ground to work for and settles these guys out.
Well, now it just completely makes it only a 7-car race for that $29 prize from Cabot all the way back to Josh McWhorter. And I say all the way back to McWhorter, but maybe he's not able to stay with this lead line, laying back just a little bit. But you got some mini packs now. You got Kenny Kibbe and Donnie Kite tandeming. They're actually pulling away from Jeff Wright. Michael Sturgill's on his own. Then you got Lehman, Threlkeld, we haven't talked about tonight, Kyle Logan, and Kyle Peacock's in that line as well. But the main pack starts with Brandon Wallace, 15th on back. That's the biggest pack on track.
You say, with the way you said that, with Lehman and Threlkeld, I thought you said lame man.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Get it together, 12.
Well, lap 29. It is a big gap to make up, but meanwhile, the battle for the money is on. This is the lap where it's going to be paid out, so we'll see who wants it bad, who wants it the most. Adam Cabot's got it, but Bailey Turner could easily steal it. Oh, there we go. He's trying to take it for himself, but I think Cabot, now they're side by side. There's no momentum. This might be easy for Cabot to fend off, but watch the run Turner has. Nope, he's got nowhere to go with it. Cabot got it. Now if he's chartered, he gets that money. I don't really remember if he's chartered or not, but either way, he will take leading this race regardless. And now it's in their best interest to get back single file to keep this lead. We'll see if that ends up making a difference. Lead line that time by ran 46 flats, and it's going to be a while until that big pack gets there to make a time up. So we'll see what they run this time by. Lehman ran a 46.6. They were pretty much slower than that lead pack, so that is very concerning that they're not able to turn laps faster. But we've seen this a lot of the time in a cup car. You want less cars in the pack to carry more speed because you just got a lot less stacking up that way. So them being in a big pack, that might end up hurting them. It's not just fender damage. If you could see inside that right front wheel, it is bent. He took such a hard lick to the outside wall in the restart before the big crash and the big stack up. I don't know how much it's hurting him. I think what's hurting him the most is that Brandon Wallace isn't pushing him. There's no bump drafting going on. You need the bump draft to go fast. Once again, they were running over a second slower than this line of 7 cars at the front, so they're not going to gain time anytime soon. I think Brandon Wallace realizes that, and they're trying to go to the front and maybe lead this line just to get some extra speed.
So a little technical issue with my microphone, but we got it resolved here. The 3 of Sturgill to the outside. He's going to start that high line, has the 09 of Klinger fall down behind him through the tri-oval. 99 on the high line, that's Brandon Wallace. He's going to get a push from Alex Bell in the 15, who passed 20-plus cars through the tri-oval grass. You don't see that very often here.
And all of a sudden, the bottom line surged back ahead with Sturgill, Klinger, Lehman, Threlkeld got clear of the higher line. This is just not helping anyone racing like this. It's going to make it even worse to the point where if this went green to the very end, that line of 7 cars could end up lapping all these drivers. Gotta get formed up.
09, 05 behind Sturgill. And you have the 12 pulling back up here. They continue to lose a little bit of ground. It's now 17 seconds. Well, the microphone wasn't working. We talked about Jeff Wright and a few others. We had a blink out there with Joseph McWhorter. It looks like a connection issue for the 73.
That is very bad timing, considering where he was running, and he has not come back since we saw this sort of an issue. And we got a caution out, got a crash, yellow's out, wrecked in turn number 2. As I was looking at McWhorter, second line crash. Rob Denton's in there, Christopher Hodges is in there, among others.
13 of Weekly also involved, pretty minor damage. But I think this starts with the 51 of Hodges.
It started with the 13 of Weekly up ahead of it. Something happened at the front that caused a huge, there was a huge stack up in turn number 1. So we're talking about, you get lines this big, the stack-ups are going to be huge, and you got to be ready for it. We'll see in turn number 1 how big the stack-up was from Caleb Weekly's on board. Oh yeah, you can see them backing up, and not only Banks was ready for it, kind of shoved Bell in the Weekly. And just, you got a lot more drivers involved. Gosh, oh man, Austin Belke went joyriding. That was much more air than you want. The leaders aren't happy about that because they had such a big lead, but my gosh. That 89 got air, but it all happens because you got 20 cars in a line. In one single line, you're going to have huge stack-ups caused by that.
Back it up one more time. 89 of Belke is in a Jeff Gordon paint. I apologize for hitting the wrong number there, but watch this ride.
Did a good job keeping it straight at least. I wonder if that did much damage. Stack-up happens there. You got so many cars getting involved just in the stack-up from it. He actually got on the apron to avoid it, then bam! Hit that access ramp, and he somehow still avoided everything.
Wow.
Barely missed Christopher Hodges that time, who was kind of a casualty of that incident, but for the most part, a clean car. He actually almost made contact with a car on pit road, but he got away with one for sure.
It's on board with Chris Hodges as we'll go into turn 1 for this one.
He's a casualty of this. There the incident starts. He tries to check up, I should say, and he got loose under braking immediately. And then when you're on the oh man, he just missed Caleb Weekly. Oh, he actually hit Belke. So Belke maybe got a little damage, but that could have been much worse. But it almost looked like Hodges hit the brakes and it just immediately got sideways, almost like he's running a lot of rear brake. I don't know what the advantage of that would be at a super speedway, but it definitely looked to be the case. But car looks okay, should be fine to continue, but man, he dodged a bullet. He almost nailed the 13.
My, how the turns have tabled here. Jeff Wright has somehow worked his way up towards the front. The 57 of Dakota Floyd, who got caught up in that first incident. The 57 is going to be leading the pack. So the 57, 48, and the 54. There's your top 3 finisher. So nobody's gone back-to-back. Well, I don't see the driver that won in the Challenger Series out here tonight.
Justin Curtis not in the field. He actually beat Bryce Shoemaker in that race, and Bryce Shoemaker's going to be, I guess, restarting in the 3rd position. So if he were to win, that'd be as close as we've gotten to 2nd and 1st. This yellow actually not only saves the drivers that were not in that 7-car lead pack, but it saves McWhorter, who his internet just dropped. He's back in the race. I can't tell if he's 1 down or 2. Looks like he might be He has a lot of damage, actually, so he had a lot of damage from that initial incident that happened that didn't bring out the yellow, but his internet dropped. He'll be 1 or 2 laps down, but he's at least back in the session and might be able to salvage a few things out of this race, even if he can't get a race win, because that 73 is beat up.
Unfortunate there for the 73 of McWhorter. See if he can get back out on the racetrack here momentarily. A little bit of damage on that right front, you can see there. See if we can get a better angle of that. Just a little bit of damage. It's not too bad. Seen a lot worse on this next-gen car.
Yeah, you can definitely see the damage to the splitter pushed up a little bit. That'll make a little difference, but it'll get pushed out. Like we've said, these next-gen cars, if you don't get a meatball, they'll get fully repaired and be as good as new. So if he can get out there, as he will, he's 2 laps down. He gets some lucky dogs after laying at the back. That's one thing you'll have to lay at the back. You don't want to really risk it, but get those lucky dogs, should be all good. And we're talking about how these next-gen cars are tanks. We still only have 3 cars out of the race. Philip Brewer and Case Lakatos were out after only completing 1 lap after the big crash on lap 1, and then Andrew Telganoff, he does not have a meatball. Actually, he does have a meatball, so he is out of this race. So 3 cars out, still got 40 running.
And I'd like to apologize. We went through the grid. There were some drivers that didn't have charters or didn't qualify their way in, and you know, iRacing is going to throw those names up in the field here regardless. So for anybody that maybe thought we announced the wrong things, it's just one of those telemetry deals with iRacing. Until we get to the green, we really don't know officially who's in here. But that's how popular it is here at Saturday Night Racing League. A lot of people trying to make it in to the first race of season 4. Jeff Wright, Dakota Floyd, front row. Green flag is out. Here we go, back green, 5th time today. On the backstretch, Jeff Wright holds on to the lead. Villalobos goes to the outside. Cabot follows suit. 17 trying to give a shove. They don't get connected. It looks like Jeff Wright has a car connected. Bryce Shoemaker keeping him up there.
Oh, we got a crash at the back. We got cars all over the place in turn 3. Lucas Lyons, Rob Hamp, Kyle Peacock, Keith Shoemaker's in it as well.
Yellow flies a little bit later than we probably anticipated that. Probably Rob Hamp dropping some debris. He is not able to continue. He's going to try to find his stall here.
Yeah, I think that one's done. So I think it's going to be our 4th retirement. Right front is pointed towards the grandstands. There was a lot of big hits once again. Didn't make it a lap. We're not even a lap 40. We still got a pit stop to go. We'll see where this started with the somewhere around the 4. Ooh, we got punted by someone. He hit the wall extremely hard. Oh man, and then the 88, Keith Shoemaker put someone in the wall. I think that was the 83 again he put in the wall? That was not intentional, but certainly didn't look good. Couldn't tell who he got into.
McWhorter maybe gave him a little help there, but there was nowhere to go for the 73. He was just getting back out on the racetrack here.
Still wondering who hit the 4 to set that off, and it was Lucas Lyons who got pinned into the wall as a result of that. It looked like another stack had gone wrong.
I think it was Sturgill they got into the back. He had a run here.
Klinger. See, Klinger and Sturgill got a run. They go to the middle. Klinger goes to the middle. Hamp is, I don't think, anticipating Klinger to get to the middle, and they kind of come together. But there's got to be some patience, eventually when we are not even 40 laps in. There's got to be some patience eventually. And you think maybe at that point in the race, the 09 would kind of just stop a little bit and not push the issue 3 wide after we've had a bunch of crashes. He tries to go through the middle to get some positions up rather quickly, and that's going to happen sometimes.
Patience. It's Daytona, season number 4, Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. We've got over 40 drivers on this racetrack. We come back, we'll be just about at the halfway point here on VSPEED. Stay tuned. More coverage continues right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Back here live at Daytona, Jeff Wright, Julio Villalobos Jr., the front row, the 54 of Bryce Shoemaker, 57 of Dakota Floyd, and the 17 of Adam Cabot. Be your top 5 here for this restart. I'd like to welcome you back to flag coverage here on VSPEED, the 4th season of Saturday Night Racing League. But if you have been a part of this prior to these moments, you know that just about at the halfway point, we would like to ask you to find that volume knob and get loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. couldn't hold it back here. Watch the 24 go through the middle here. That was Get Loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. Wow. Bailey Turner, what a gutsy call to do that.
Something's wrong with the 17. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he starts slowing down. And they're still trying to sort it out around the 17. He's just not going.
What happened here?
Rear bumper's totaled now. 54 still stuck behind him. Right, Shoemaker's trying to help him out. He's going to lose the traffic. Trying to help him out. I don't know what happened to Cabot, but I was wondering why there was so much stacking up happening. That's why I couldn't hold it back. Something was insanely wrong. You know what it is? We've seen this before. When you get rear bumper damage, you get insanely slow, like unrealistically slow. I think he got hit so hard in the rear bumper, it gave him damage, and that's just the damage doing that. I mean, even though he's on his own right now, he's only going like 150. I've never, like, that's as bad as I've ever seen it. I really don't get why iRacing does that, but when you get rear bumper damage, you're done. I mean, you're killed. You have nothing left. So until he gets that fixed, he's done.
And he fell through this field. It was... That's pretty much killed the run here for the 17.
That's as extreme as I've ever seen it. And but we'll tell you what, we've had a lot of crashes, but the field did an incredible job. Oh, as I say that, we got another crash. I was about to compliment him when we crashed at the back, and I think Alex Bell's in this one, as is Joshua Banks. Another car back there is Brandon Wallace, and he might have gotten the worst of it. Man, I shouldn't have opened my mouth.
Well, you know, no good deed goes unpunished.
That saves Adam Cabot, at least.
Rewind a little bit too far here. But it will come out of turn 4 where this happens. What exactly is the start of this? I kind of missed the number on it.
I think it starts with the 99. Another, once again, that's the first car I saw get sideways, the 99 of Brandon Wallace. See even the Budweiser car up ahead on the bottom, and right there, him and Donnie Kite get together, sets all that off, and Alex Bell gets a bump from the 1, just trying to avoid it all, Joseph Sullivan, and that's what sets all that off. But 99 and 26 kind of just came together there. What I was about to say, I was about to compliment the field on how good of a job they did not causing a crash, getting around the destroyed 17 of Cabot, but right here, it's like the 99 comes up a little bit, 26 maybe a little lower than he was anticipating. They come together, 15, the 1 get together, 35 gets a piece of it there too.
Get up in the blimp camera.
All right, yeah, 99, I think 99 definitely inched up a little bit there. Nowhere for the 1 of Sullivan to go. Oh, man. Is that the 88? The 88 was going to come in there strong. Oh, man. Yeah, he came in late and hit Brandon Wallace. Did not even see him there. That was Keith Shoemaker, and he's going to be done. Lucky dog is Eddie Trejo. So now you got Joseph McWhorter still stuck 2 down. Lucas Lyons is 3 down. You know, we'll re-rack, restack again. We're almost at halfway. We are getting there, folks.
47 laps about to be completed. It's a kind of a polar opposite, and this isn't the first time this has happened at Daytona. We saw it under the lights here on Thursday night in the dual races. If you tuned in here on the channel, you saw Mystic Racing put on their duels for the qualifying. It was the first heat or duel that was caution kind of plagued, and then the second duel was kind of like what we saw in the Challenger Series. Really quiet. Now both ran the Cup car. I want to establish that. But it's been kind of a flip-flop. And when you talk about the Challenger Series, you've got a lot of talent in both these series across the board that run in both. But we're running a different car. Do you think, Connor, that maybe that's kind of the catalyst that's making some of this happen?
I think the car definitely has some to do with it. These are just a much wilder vehicle for super speedway racing than the Xfinity Series car, because the Xfinity Series car, you do not get runs that big. The bump drafting is still a challenge, but you're not as on edge while doing it. You can kind of do 3 wide a little bit more comfortably than you would in a Cup car. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but I definitely think even the Gen 4 car, when we used it in Season 1 for super speedway racing, you couldn't really move around a lot, and the passing was very difficult to do from the back. You couldn't really go back to front easy. That's something you could do in the Cup car, but they're just easier to handle, and they're more stable to race and stable to bump and everything like that. This Cup car is definitely a bigger challenge, but this is the Contender Series. This is the top series of this league. We anticipated we'd probably see some cleaner racing earlier on. It just has not been the case. But if you look back to Season 2, it was not too different. The yellow count was not as high. We only had 6 yellows Season 2 when you ran the next gen. But there are a lot of competitors in that race that are in this race, like Dakota Floyd, Ortega, Weekly, Jeff Wright, Carwell Mahoski. I mean, the top 5 from that race in Season 2 are in this race. So you got a decent amount of guys that know what to expect, but it's fair to say that there might be some people in this race that weren't expecting it to be this big of a challenge. Some guys that are new to this series. So I guess I'm too surprised to see it be a challenge for a lot of drivers, but it's definitely unfortunate because we are still yet to get the halfway, and we haven't seen too much patience quite yet. We've seen a lot of 3 wide.
Well, for this moment on this restart, we're going to find a driver camera for RSR. I want to throw out there that RSR, to the lowest incident count, is also going to be putting some prizes up on the board. So as far as the RSR Driver Cam Challenge, you're right on board with each of the drivers with a driver camera. $10 will be awarded to the driver with a camera and the least amount of incident points each week. So we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out. And on board here with Michael Sturgill in the number 3. And we just lost his camera. Let's try to get it fixed. There we go.
Is the front yet again another restart where that top lane just naturally has the advantage in the turn number 1 almost every time. No push on the bottom for Nick Hapiak or Dakota Floyd. The Floyd finally gets there. Here goes Jeff Wright, shooting the middle, getting the inside of Christopher Hodges and splitting the difference. There goes the 77 of Dohar, looking for the 3rd position, but he has no help.
This is a tight window of opportunity, but you can see that side draft pulling these cars back. There goes the 12 of Threlkeld up to the top 5 on the outside.
Going for it, but nowhere to go now unless he wants to go to the bottom. Looks like he is going to go to the bottom. Gets right in front of the 0-5 of James Lehman, who's now the pusher on that bottom line. But Valita is on. Sturgill still has it. Threlkeld wants it. Chad Klinger shoving that 3 car up in front. He actually got way ahead of everyone else on the high side. Christopher Hodges still trying to catch up to those 2. There was another driver to the middle. That's the 26 of Kite looking middle. Didn't go for it. Bottom lane surges ahead. Threlkeld to the point.
Yeah, those socks again. That's all I got to say about that. We need somebody to get their face up on the VSPEED website. Somebody else. Look at Threlkeld, guaranteed to make socks out of that. Leads a lap here. Now Sturgill to the outside with the 09 at Klinger. They got the 05 giving him a push on the bottom. Lehman. Christopher Hodges back there. And the 3rd on the outside.
We watch this run down the backstretch. They get the run up the high side, inch ahead for the time being, but the push on the bottom, they're much more formed up on the bottom. But here comes Sturgill trying to side drive, but he did not get the Threlkeld's right rear in time, but he will pull back Lehman and ruin that push that the 12 of Threlkeld has.
Will the 12 move up?
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he should do that, not blocking at this point, but you can see the run he's gonna give up to the 3. But as I say that, Lehman got back to the bump for the 12, and Didn't change too much, but right there, they took a little too long to get hooked up, and the high side got the advantage again.
That's how it is for the top spot. Now going to try to pull side draft again here. Stops the run. You can see that's a prime example right there. All Sturgill has to do is drop down to the door of that 12 car, and it instantly stops that momentum. It's so frustrating when you're getting a good push, you get a good momentum started up here, and it's just not enough.
And there's nothing you can do about it in the bottom line, but if you're leading that high line, you have to have drivers behind you that are aware of what you're doing, because if you go down there on your own to side draft and the driver behind you is not with you, you're going to get put in the middle. You're going to be the one going backwards, so you got to have friends behind you, and Sturgill, Klinger, Hodges, even Reggie Ortega, they're all working well together, and they know what they're doing right now at the front. We saw that a lot a few seasons ago with Mark Whitley and a few other drivers that were able to control the race at the front by just running the outside line and side drafting the bottom lane at all times. That's how you control a race in this Generation 7 car. They're the first drivers today to do it at all. Oh man, almost contact there.
Move down there. I think that was
Kite.
Wow.
This Kite and Turner almost came together there.
They do come together through the tri-oval. Big checkup on the inside and the outside.
Oh man, the 13's trying to get away from all that. Adam Cabot's back in the picture, repaired that rear bumper, and is back up towards the front already. That was incredibly tight. As Sturgill again side drafting the 12, the 09 side drafting the 05, Hodges following suit. And now it's a little bit of gridlock racing, because now you got the high side controlling the race by using that side draft to their advantage. But in a weird way, it's kind of stabilized this race for the time being.
Okel continues to run that bottom. Sturgill on the outside. And through this field, quite a few drivers here with cameras on board. See if we can find another driver. How about this? J.R. Shepard. The number 98. We haven't talked about him tonight. Let's go on board with that car.
Been kind of hanging around at the back all night, running in the 27th position. Yeah, close enough. Get an iPhone sort of style camera in there, it works. But he's been hanging around the back pretty much all day, and he has, at least to this point, survived by just sitting back and just waiting for the chaos to end. And later on, I'm sure he's hoping he can make that move up to the front, but there's still a long way to go. No need to go for it right now.
We'll remove the frame there just temporarily to show you the full shot, but there is the 98 sitting back in the 29th position.
And you could see from this angle how bad the stack-ups are. Even if he's not even probably riding full throttle either. He's just sitting back, and you can see whenever they get stacked up how much slower the pace gets, especially into the corner. And just him just chilling out like this is just making sure he avoids all of that. Those are the guys that aren't fighting for anything right now, laying back like McWhorter. He's 2 laps down. He's not in a lucky dog position because Eddie Trejo's a lap down. There's no one else on his lap, so he really has nothing to race for.
Move to the inside a little bit there. Probably unintentional for the 77 of Tyler Johar.
Did that earlier, caused the crash lap 1, but we got away with it this time. That bottom lane is starting to lose some steam a little bit. The push not as strong. Sturgill and Klinger been able to kind of maintain this lead very well after this restart. Cabot's looking middle, a little further back, trying to get back to the front. He has help from Bailey Turner, but it's so hard to make that middle work because you're getting side draft on both your quarter panels. You need to have a huge run to make that work.
They're going to block it off here. 17 was still getting a shove. 24 Turner trying to get him up there. The car left out to dry. That's a 26 on the high line.
He's able to side draft 24 just enough, and the 48 just enough to kind of hold them back for the time being. So they're not able to get that run.
Donnie Knight, even even with a car that's left out to dry that doesn't have draft, if you're on that outside, you're kind of pulling the air and stopping those guys to your inside, you can kind of afford to keep it going. Here comes the 2, though.
Big run.
Reggie Ortega with a huge run to the bottom.
Went to the bottom. Him and Jeff Wright got a good enough run, but here comes Sturgill and Klinger. They're going to try to work down the track, but they weren't really bumper to bumper as smoothly as they wanted to be, but didn't matter. They got a huge run out of the corner, and the 248, they all stalled coming out of the corner. But now you got movement going, because now we got some new players as the 48 tried to get in front of Cabot. Cabot cut him a huge break there. That could have been a huge crash like the 02 500. Kind of reminded me of that crash all those years ago that I totally watched live. I was totally live, but regardless, that could have been a huge crash.
Go back on YouTube, there's so many archives of those races and memorable moments.
That was almost like the incident. There was 2 incidents from that race. He had Jeff Gordon spin Harvick, then he had Sterling Marlin spin Gordon before the entry to turn 1. That could have been another similar incident quite like that. But the 17 cut him a break. Huge move by Bailey Turner to get back up to the top side.
Outside line is working its way tighter and tighter. You've seen Caleb Weakley now into the top 10. He's slowly creeping up here. I just want to establish the 13 led a lot of laps in that Challenger Series. Don't count him out.
Led a race high 27. Didn't get the checkered flag, but still got a top 5 finish. So definitely knows how to run well at these tracks. Just got to finish the deal eventually. In a prime position to do so. If they could just make it 40 more laps as we hit the 40 to go mark this time by.
Lanes develop again.
And he's the odd one out, unfortunately. They're the odd one out. So go a little bit backwards here. Joseph McWhorter has dropped off the track again. 26 and 24 kind of got together. Cabot and Turner trying to go yet again.
40 laps left here at Daytona. Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series, season number 4. Sturgill continues to lead. Cabot to the bottom. 3 and 4 at the front.
He's going to try to sidestep him. He's a little late to Cabot, but I think that push is so strong they can't even stop that. They almost turned Cabot out of turn number 4. They had the advantage, but they had to check up a little too much because he bumped Cabot a little bit wrong out of the corner. That gives Sturgill and Klinger a little bit of a fighting chance again on the top side.
Not a lot of people talk about this, but you know, think back to Pepsi and Coca-Cola, what they did at Daytona. How many drivers are Coke drivers? How many drivers are Pepsi drivers? There's a 24, which is almost sacrilege. I think briefly the 24 had Coca-Cola on the side of it. We get back here to the 48 of Jeff Wright. Want to do the Pepsi challenge? You ever do that?
Never done the Pepsi challenge. I don't think Jeff Wright has either. Cabot just forced his way to the high side of a lead, though.
Well, if you don't know what the Pepsi challenge is, I don't have time to explain it to you.
Okay. That's probably the best.
They put 2 cups in front of you, and then you drank out one, and you had to guess if you were drinking Pepsi or Coke. You drank out of 2 cups, and you had to guess.
No, that's not as sadistic as I thought it was.
No.
I was thinking something different.
Come on. I've never been sadistic on here.
Well, I guess so. I don't know. Logan wearing those face socks is pretty sadistic.
Oh, well, I have no responsibility for that.
Neither does anyone in this field besides him.
Adam Cabot continues to lead with Sturgill behind. I think right now the top 3 are drivers that are phenomenal at plate tracks. It's going to be very, very tough. You even have the 48 of Jeff Wright, the 51 of Hodges up there. It's going to be really tough to get around this outside line now.
Not too many other players at the front that we haven't seen today, but there is one I hadn't seen today until now. Angelo Aronis. We haven't talked about him at all today. He's found his way into the top 10 all of a sudden. Second in line on the bottom, pushing Bailey Turner. He's found his way to the front.
Again, it goes back to the way this car reacts to other cars around it. Just the draft and the scenarios. You can see the two actually kind of drop down there. I don't know if he was trying to pull these guys back. You could absolutely do that. You could drop down, pull some side draft on the entry of the corner, and keep these guys at bay around the 6th, 7th position.
That's what they're trying to do right now, at least to an extent. That's what Sturgill was trying to do to Bailey Turner and Adam Cabot. He kept Turner on the bottom, but Cabot was able to get up, and he's led ever since. One thing that we've got to note, these drivers, at least assuming we can get to that certain point, we still have one more pit stop. You cannot make it on fuel from here, so who's going to pit when? What's the strategy going to be? Do you short pit, you pit as early as possible, or you run the fuel dry, or hoping for yellow, or just trying to get the least amount of fuel possible? That's going to be very, very important. We could see both strategies play out, but from here, 80% fuel tank, I don't think you can make it from here.
Right on board here with Christopher Hodges in the number 51. He's on the outside in the 4th position. Well, it looks like on this high line, riding the wall.
It's not very fun riding the wall, but that's where the speed is. A lot of times, the high side is where you're going to get that run off the corner in the draft. That's where you get the most speed. I'd rather be on the bottom, but it's just, we've seen how easy it is to control the race from the top side. If you get to the front, you have to get up there if you want a chance to win this race. It's hard to win a race from the bottom line. And Hodges is in a good spot right now. Everyone, the top 5 guys at the top line, leading the top line, are in good spots right now. But like I said, we still got a pit stop to go, so this is not how it's going to finish, definitely.
Sturgill keeps the 17 of Cabot up front. Race analysis coming back up on your screen to remind everyone where that fuel window is. 80% fuel, and we have ran about 11 laps, 18 laps. That's kind of the balance here on the top 10. 22 laps in the 05 back in 13th position. He'll be probably one of the first cars to come down pit road. Connor, I don't think you can go much more than 35 laps.
I don't even know if we can get 35 out of this tank. I think it would be close to 30 and 35. We'll just have to wait and see what the strategy is going to be. The last yellow we had, drivers probably pit around lap 46 or so, somewhere around there. So really the window, if you stretch it, would be probably around lap 75 to 80 is when these drivers would pit if they run the tank empty. That would be at the point where you're short fueling it a little bit, but you definitely still need to take 2 cans of fuel to get to the end of this race. So you can't save time by getting only 1 can. That would be a strategy at certain points of this race, but I don't think we'll see that right now. This is definitely as settled in as you've seen the field all night.
Yeah, they're pretty content right now as it sits. No one's really forcing the issue. I haven't seen anyone go to the middle. Doesn't mean we won't see it when we get to that window you were talking about in 30 laps. You still have about 12 laps left on that. But I think you're right here. It's probably going to be a matter of lap 75. I don't think you want to go past that. You want to split this run in half. These drivers have been out here now for 18 up at the front. Cabot 11. Then you have other drivers that are kind of playing devil's advocate. They could go a little further on fuel. They're trying to keep up front. Maybe stick with a guy that has a little less fuel. See what they're going to do. Maybe pit with them.
That's the one thing. You know, cutting it in even halves, it's not as simple at a super speedway. You need, as Ortega got to the bottom, that gives me a sign that we might see pit stops rather sooner than we thought, because there's a lot of drivers getting to the bottom right now, or at least trying to, but it's not as simple as cutting it in halves. You need to try to pit with the right people, and also you need to make sure you pit cleanly. You got drivers with early pit stalls, you got drivers with late pit stalls. Pit entry at super speedways is near impossible with a group of 20, 30 cars. You need to have a dedicated group of 5 cars or so. That's really the sweet spot. You pit with any more than that, you're probably in trouble, and there's going to be a crash on pit entry. We see it every year in SNRL as Jeff Wright jumped to the bottom looking for extra track position. So Sturgill and Klinger and Hodges, they're all going to stay on the top, but the bottom line's getting pretty formed up.
And I just wonder if these drivers were contemplating that pit stop and there was a lap car at the entry of pit road. Maybe they pulled that strategy and changed their minds. We might see this time by sitting right around 25 laps, the highest number, 28.
Here we go. Let's see, Cabot, Turner, Horonis, and one more at the back all the way behind. That is Max Cost. So it's pretty much the sweet spot. 4 cars pitting on 1 lap. I think that is a pretty good strategy if you can come out together. That's another thing. You got to come out together to get up to speed as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's not going to matter.
Used to. And now green flag pit stops at Daytona. Here comes the 48.
Jeff Wright, Ortega, and 4 others behind. Denton, Banks, Bell, and Brian Chambliss all come down the pit. So about 6 cars, another good group of cars. Oh, contact! Alex Bell and Rob Denton hit. I think somehow they didn't spin. Denton couldn't get into his stall quick enough, though. He completely missed his stall. It's going to hurt his race badly.
Rob Denton there. Cut down in front. We'll back it up one more time.
Denton's not going to be able to be in line with them.
Wow.
Only 2 more pit stops this next time. That was lucky on Bell's part to be able to maintain that. Donnie Kite, Nick Hapiak, they both come in. There's only 2 cars that time by. Only 2 teammates, JS teammates. 1 JS Studios Ford and 1 JS Gaming Ford. Juicy Spider Gaming and Juicy Spider Studios. We should see more pit stops here. I think Sturgill, he's been kind of hogging the bottom. I would not be surprised to see majority of the rest of the field maybe come in here. This would be the group I'm worried about. We might see a lot of cars pit at one time here.
Here they come.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. Sturgill, Hodges, the 09 and Klinger's in. That's at least 10. But they're in cleanly. But you gotta get near stalls cleanly. And there's still 3 wide back there. Looks like they're gonna do it pretty well. That leaves Tyler Dohar as the race leader. So you got Villalobos, Carwile, Massey, Oscar Jensen, who we haven't talked about today. The Shoemaker, Kibbe, J.R. Shepard, and Matt Shinosky left on track. So 9 cars yet to pit.
Well, we're coming down with 25 to go. Dohar will lead them in. Is it going to be this time? It will.
Not everyone. They're at the back. Stay out. Shinosky, Shepard, Kibbe, they all stay. Now we get to see who's going to have the advantage after pit stops. Right now, it looks like it's that first group that came in, Turner, Cabot, Max Cost, who have the advantage for the time being. Only a line of 3, but they are ahead of everyone else who's pit so far, but not very formed up.
Yeah, and only 3 cars. It's going to be tough to maintain. But not for the lack of trying. 17 already glued to the bumper of the 24.
This is maybe 1 less than I would like in a line. I think 4 in a line would be very fast and easy to be able to make it work. When you're in small groups like this, you have the pusher get out of line, and then you got the guy at the very back of the line let him in. So I think 5's actually the sweet spot. The 5th guy is basically, oh, we got a spin off of turn 2. Someone spun on pit exit. There's going to be no yellow. I think it was Bryce Shoemaker, but he kept it straight, but that could have been way more catastrophic. Watch the rejoin, goodness. He was the one who went for a big slide attitude. Let's see what happened here. Only Shoemaker left in the race as Austin Belke continues to lead up just a little bit too high up. Hit the apron, great save, but lost a lot of time in doing that. A little bit of a mistake there. He definitely got away with one there. That could have been a lot worse, but he'll be able to continue with a little bit of help at least. So those three will stay in line. The 83, who's been a decent amount of incidents, not of his doing today, Kyle Peacock, in that little bit of a line, but still at the front. You still have 5 drivers yet to pit. Belke, Sullivan, Wood, Shanosky, and Shepard all yet to pit. I don't know if Kenny Kibbe had pit yet. I don't believe he had. No, yes he had. He did pit. Kibbe did pit. So now he got Belke, Sullivan, and Wood, the top 3 yet to pit.
Here they come. Lap 78. Was this advantageous here, Connor?
We'll have to see. I don't think they were putting fast times down, so I'd be worried about where they come out. They have McWhorter with them, too. He had another internet issue, so he's out of the fight for sure at this point, but he comes down with them to help a little bit. Turner. Oh man.
Sullivan slides through the box. Big time. That's going
That
to
wasn't
hurt
even
this
close.
group.
And out of pit lane, the advantage still goes to Turner, Cabot, and Koss. They're running 45.7s right now. There's no pack matching that right now. So those 3 are doing a good job of swapping out. And I think they are doing this sort of tactic where Cabot and Turner are really doing the work. They're doing the pushing, but every time the pusher gets hot, I don't know if it's the leader swapping out. We haven't seen it yet, but one swaps out and Koss just gets in behind both of them. But I think they're starting to lose some steam here. That second pack looks very fast out of turn number 4. I think they're going to catch them this time. They are right there. If they're not in draft range, they're right there.
I think it's a 1 second mark is where you want to be if you want to start catching that. Right on the edge of it.
They're running 44.9s that time by that second pack. That third pack is where I think they're in trouble. I think there's too many cars and they're not formed up enough, led by Julio Villalobos. I don't think they can catch these 2 packs that are about to possibly converge. Clingan and Sturge were quite a duo today. Ever since we got some green flag running in, these 2 have been hooked up.
I just want to apologize. ATVO a little bit broken here. You might notice that some of the telemetry on the left-hand side of your screen is not updating correctly. Well, that is not your imagination.
They got him now. I think that second pack has them. Look at this run. Now the question is, do any of these 3 try to block that run? This would be a huge run to block. They're 10 miles an hour faster. There we go. They're going to go to the top. That's smart. They're at least going to take advantage of having that high side. And when Klinger gets there, if he gets there, they're going to side draft. I think that actually threw that second pack for a loop. They are completely messed up, and they lost all the momentum they had.
Yeah, it broke it apart here.
And this is the best thing that can happen to the now what is the second pack is if they race hard, side draft each other. That might bring 11th on back into this race.
So plenty of time with 19 laps to go. Haley Turner on the high line. Cabot giving the shove. Gonna breathe the 17 Atlas machine. We're gonna navigate around. Lap down car there. Not sure who that is. I think it's Eddie Trejo.
It's been a few laps down for a while. A lot of damage on that 21. Here we go. That's why they went to the top side. You're going to watch them control this race on the outside. Able to side draft. You've been talking about it since halfway. Now that time by, that first pack ran 45.9s, 46 flats. And that second pack was a little bit faster that time. More lap traffic to deal with. That's Rob Denton, who's going a second lap down. Down to the apron, out of harm's way. Classy move. As that second line on the bottom, that bottom line in the lead pack, I should say, loses all their momentum. We're back to single file. I'm wondering if this is them realizing that the more they stay side by side, the quicker that second pack hooks up. You don't want more cars in the fight to disrupt the race. They want to keep it between these top 11. That's what they're going to try to do, or top 10, I should say. So they're going to get back single file and try to pull back away from this Villalobos-led pack.
Julio Villalobos, Oscar Jensen giving the push in the 97, or 91 rather.
Close enough to the 7, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't talked about Oscar all day. Started second, but kind of hovered mid-pack a lot of the day. And still in the top 12 position. If he could push well enough on the back bumper of the 45, maybe, just maybe, they could gain enough to get to the top 10. They are still faster.
Yeah, my timing is scoring a little bit behind here. This time I will update with that 12th and 11th position.
They were multiple tenths faster that time.
7 tenths they made up.
Now Ortega and Banks, they got to run to the high side. I don't know if this is going to help or hurt. They are probably within a second of drafting range, but being side by side like this is not going to help. At least not side drafting. If they can probably get away with being side by side, if they keep getting big runs, but they cannot side draft each other. That is going to kill any chance of this working. And at least they have some time to work with. They have 15 laps to work with.
It's right there in front of them. All they have to do is go grab it.
Oh, Ortega's out of line. That's going to lose them some time. Not much speed. Brian Chandless gets lapped now. And everyone's pretty formed up at the front now. I think they realize this is what they need to do, and those top 10 are very content to stay single file. So Turner's going to lead for a while. Yeah, that time by, the lead line ran 45.8s, and the line behind really mainly 46 flats. So doing what they were doing was working, but now it's not really working anymore.
Donnie Knight at the end of this top 10 group.
Oh, there's a car stopped on the apron. Who was that? Someone was stopped on the apron out of turn number 4. We'll stay green. This race will continue. I think it was Mark McFadden. I don't know what he stopped for. Didn't look like a crash. He just decided to exit the race. So carry on. Apologies. Yeah, the second pack, that was not what... Oh, man, that was a crash. Huge hit. I think that was off Lyons' front bumper.
No choice. Had no steering.
Actually amazing that he was able to get it off track. He did have a little steering left in it, but the right front was broke. But that ends Mark McFadden's race. Definitely prematurely. So we'll get back to the racing. Now 13 laps to go.
I don't know, every time this updates, gets a little bit shorter.
Bottom line, very messed up there. Jeff Wright and Villalobos got very checked up, and the higher line was able to prevail that time.
Every time they go by, though, Connor, that lead dwindles down, even if it's just a couple tenths at a time. I think they're going to be there before the end.
Yeah, that time they ran 45.3s, while the lead line ran 45.9s and 46 flats. They just need to continue doing what they're doing without crashing each other, and they can get there. Thing is, it's just very tough to pull off because double file, I think, would be faster for a line this big, but it's hard to do it without side drafting each other because this track is not as wide as Talladega. It's not that easy to do.
Turner remains your leader. He has now put up 11 laps led, and you got to bet that the 17 at Cabot's not going to stick with the back of the 24 when this white flag comes out. We're approaching that time.
Man,
we got all the cautions out of our system.
No, because the second line doesn't know what they're doing. Joshua Banks almost got turned. Every time they start gaining on this lead line, they just get out of line like a bunch of headless chickens, and they don't know what they're doing. If they just keep doing what they're doing, they catch the lead line. They keep losing so much time racing each other. I just don't get it.
Might be the runs in this car, too, and overheating issues as well.
That's when you swap out, and if you look at the bigger picture, you'd rather have a chance to finish first instead of just racing for 11th. Get out of line, let someone else in front of you, and then let them push. Oh, someone's on the apron. There goes Chambliss. He's gonna save it. But this is ridiculous. This is embarrassing on everyone's part. 11th on back, because they should have caught them by now.
Ten laps to go.
And if these top 10, if it gets to a point where that second pack just definitely won't get there, who makes the first move? Because you got Turner and Cabot, who are going to work together until out of turn number 4, basically. At that point, all bets are off. Carwile wants to win. Chad Klinger and Michael Sturgill, you'd think it might be them. Big wiggle off the back bumper there, but you would think Sturgill and Klinger would pull out together, as they've been a great duo today. What can Shinosky, Shepard, Kite, what can they do from the back? It's just all about who makes the first move will dictate so much about how this race plays out, as that second pack looks like they got some momentum again, but there's only 9 laps left.
Well, we know how the runs go here, and there's a lot more cars down here on the bottom. And they are nose to tail. They are pushing as hard as they can. Last time by,
they were faster that time again.
A little bit.
Half a second.
My timing scoring is broke.
First 10 cars ran 46 ones. I saw 45 fives from drivers in that second line. They keep doing that, they'll get there, but the problem is they haven't kept doing it. But now we got but what helps is now we got a line of 5 cars separated from the main pack. They are gaining big. They might even be in draft range at this point.
Yeah, they're there. The limiter on the left-hand side is completely broken. I want to apologize for that. It will update as they cross the stripe.
Oh, crash, spin out of turn number 4 on pit entry. There's no caution for it yet. That was Tyler Dohar in the 77 who spun. But there's no caution.
Don't come up on the racetrack.
He's got it straight, though, so we'll keep it green. His right front might be broken, though. He's going to get it going. We're going to stay green. And the second pack's mostly there. Now we got movement. There go Klinger and Sturgill to the bottom of the racetrack. Yeah, that was just a big crash. Him and Threlka. Threlka might have gotten through it with minimal damage, but his chance at the win without a caution is done. Meanwhile, at the front, now we got movement. 5 drivers from that second pack made it to the front. Klinger and Sturgill went to the bottom, but they don't have a run. And now here comes the rest of that second pack. And we got 3 lap cars in the way that could play a factor. That's Sullivan, Wood, and Eddie Trejo. Race is on now.
Rokiel not happy with that. I just wanted to show that up there. Took the headset off. The hat is off. Rokiel a little upset here.
Can't blame him. Not much he could really do there. All right, this time by 6 laps to go. Now it's a full fight to the finish with a lot of drivers involved. Where does the lap traffic go? Trejo's going to pull off, but these other 2 will not. This will really probably hurt the 0, 9, and 3 on the bottom a little bit and really stack things up. Coming to this time, 6 laps to go. Turner, Cabot, Cost, Carwile, they've all been in control since we got single file at the front, but now it's a race.
On the outside, the 24, the 17.
Man. Weekly got
starting to develop.
Goes Weekly backwards. Alex Bell forced them out. Here goes Bell to the bottom. Big block on Caleb Weekly. Excuse me, not Caleb Weekly. Chad Klinger. He almost got turned for it, but it worked. 48 just got blocked by the 26. There goes the 26 to the middle. 5 laps to go. These drivers want to win it. Ain't no way they make it to the end. Oh, Massey out of line. Oh, Bell almost got turned. He hit the apron. How did they save it? How did he save it? They got no other help on the bottom right now. It's just him and Chad Klinger. There is no one else helping the bottom. That's going to hurt them. Look at that big run. Ortega leading the middle line. He has a huge run to the middle. There's cars in the wall. He got turned out of line. There we go. There's the crashing happening. The 48's in the wall. Villalobos through the grass. Jeff Wright off the wall hard, but everyone kept it straight. We're going to stay green again. Now down to 4 laps of racing to go. This has gotten incredibly crazy, but we still have about 11 cars in line that can win it.
57 got up in the wall there.
How was that not a caution? Man, big hit for the 48.
45 down through the pit road. Wow.
A lot of drivers got taken out of contention with that. This time by 3 laps to go. Bell got us alongside the 24, but that side draft brought him back. There's not much they're going to be able to do on that bottom line. Look at all the dirt kicked up on the track by the 45. Never see it all flying here. As you can see, another run to the bottom by the 15, but here comes that side draft.
Alex Bell in what could be his last race at Saturday Night Racing League for quite some time. He has a push here on the bottom. 09 of Chad Klinger trying to get him to the front. The 24 who's been pretty content with Adam Cabot pushing him. And then there's the 63 Max Koss trying to get around them. 2 laps to go.
They're not very formed up. They lost a lot of ground. They're going to have to regroup this time. Only 5 miles left to go. Only 2 more laps. All the dirt kicks up again. All bets are off. Here comes another run from the 15. With the push from Klinger, Banks is on the bottom, Ortega's down there, as well as the 31 of Mashinoski. 11 cars, all with a shot at winning it, but Turner and Cabot, they're in the best spot right now.
They take the white flag. It's going to be official. We do have 3 green-white checkered attempts here, but unlike the Challenger Series, it looks like we might get away with finishing this race under its official scheduled distance. 35 to the middle. He's going to try to push the 15.
Oh, look at a crash. Horonis in the wall. White flag is out. This race is official. Here goes Koss. He can go into the bottom for the 2nd position, but Cabot is going to try to side draft him back. Turner only really has to block the high side. But Carlisle's going with Max Koss. They're formed up, but watch the run Alex Bell's going to get on all of these guys down the back. Oh, Ortega's in the bottom. He's going to spin out. He's going to be out of it. 2 by 2. Koss on the bottom looking for his first career win on Saturday night. Pushed by Ryan Carlisle. Bailey Turner on the top. At a turn number 4 they come. That spun. Turner's getting the push. There goes Cabot for the win. He gets blocked below the line. There's contact, but Bailey Turner will cross the line first and win the season opener at Daytona for a 2nd season in a row.
And what a huge crash there at the end. I believe that was Alex Bell going across that tri-oval for 3rd position into the outside wall. Max Koss had the push there by the 71 of Ryan Carlisle. Got him sideways out of 4.
And
Bailey Turner.
I thought Koss was going to get there for a moment.
He held on to it. Phenomenal job saving that car.
He gets a top 7 finish out of that. But what a job by Bailey Turner. Able to hold on. It seems like it always comes down between Cabot and Turner. And that was maybe a little bit of a borderline block. Got him below the yellow line a little bit. But it ended up working out. And Turner's got another super speedway victory. He's got 2 in a row at Daytona. Cabot's got 2 in a row at Talladega.
Banks there just behind it. It's 4th position. Let's go on board with him.
He kept trying, but he just ran out of room to really go anywhere and ran out of time too. He's shoving, shoving, shoving. And right there they get a run, but there's just not enough time to get there. And Bell just kind of wrecked across the line. He just ran out of time. If it was Talladega, maybe.
Well, there you have it. Lighten up the smoke here at Daytona. 17 and the 24 across the line. Bailey Turner victorious back-to-back here at Daytona. First race of season number 4. Post-race interviews with your top 3. Those final race results coming up. Post-race coverage here on VSPEED right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Back here at the World Center of Racing, Saturday Night Racing League and season number 4 has concluded their 100 laps at Daytona in its regular scheduled time. Bradley Cooper and Connor Horn up in the booth. A phenomenal race it was here for the Cup Series. Rough and rocky start. You can see here with 6 cautions, but pretty much past the halfway point, it cleaned up. Those 20 lead changes out on top from 37th position up to first. Bailey Turner is going to get the victory. Adam Cabot and Alex Bell, the top 3. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment. As Joshua Banks, the defending Season 3 champion, getting a top 5 and 4th spot. Ryan Carlisle will come home in the 5th position with Chad Klinger in the 09 and 6. Max Cost, who had a real shot there out of turn 4, he'll finish in the 7th spot. Dakota Floyd in 8th position. Matt Shanoski in 9th. And Reggie Ortega, one of the winners here at Daytona, he will round out your top 10.
Just didn't have enough at the end. Wrecked down the back straightaway. Angel Horonis didn't even make it to turn 1 on the way flag. Got put in a wall. Finishes 11th. And the 26, he was up at the front, or at least in the mix a lot of the day. Gets a 12th place. Donnie Kite finishes 12th. J.R. Shepard, 13th. Caleb Weekly, who was at the front a lot, 14th position. Michael Sturgill led some laps. Him and Chad Klinger just couldn't pull it off. He finishes 15th out of that deal. Oscar Jensen, 16th after starting 2nd. Ray Massey, didn't talk about him as much as we usually would. Finishes 17th. And Julio Villalobos Jr., 18th position. The 29 Graphics, number 45. Noah Mahalski, another driver who had a quiet day. Not a lot of fanfare for him today, but he finishes 19th. And Kenny Kibbe, once again, leading the theme. A very fast driver, but started at the back, could never really make it to the front. Finishes 20th.
21st goes to Christopher Hodges. Then you have James Lehman in 22nd. Austin Belke 23rd here tonight. Bryce Shoemaker 24th. Nick Hapiak in the 06 in 25th. Logan Threlkeld, I know not the day that he wanted. He will finish in 26th. 27th, Kyle Peacock, another driver that was up towards the front. So many drivers here tonight that are solid plate racers. The one of Joseph Sullivan will finish 28th. Nick Wood in 29th. Brian Chambliss will round out 30th position. Did I have an entire crash here? I'm not entirely sure.
No, that was my mic being muted. Sorry about that. I was trying to say how 28th on back roll laps down. And Jeff Wright, former series champion, he does not get off to a good start, finishing 31st. Tyler Dohart, 32nd, who got the pole for this race, but he did not really run up there as much as he would have wanted to. Rob Denton, 33rd, 2 laps down. Lucas Lyons was involved in a lot of crashes, not of his doing, 34th for him. Same with Eddie Trejo, 35th. Joseph McWhorter had internet issues or PC issues, one or the other. He finished 36th mainly because of them. Mark McFadden, 37th. Brandon Wallace out of the race in 38th as McFadden was out and Wallace was out. And then Keith Shoemaker went out around the halfway point, 39th. And Rob Hamp had that big crash in turn 3 that took him out, finishing 40th.
3 more cars that officially made this grid. The drivers that are listed tried to qualify in here, but only 43 made it in. You got the 11 machine of Andrew Talgenhoff finishing in 41st, Casey Lakatos in 42nd, and then 43rd for Philip Brewer. A few cars there that tried to qualify in. You've got Stefan Davis, Broderick Lavick. I don't know why that one hurts me so much. Benjamin Richards and Mike Sturgill in 47th position, not making the field here tonight. Man, I tell you what, I don't know why that hurt my brain so much, but I guess we just take it on down to pit road. We talk to our 3rd place finisher. This might be one of the last interviews that we get to pull up Alex Bell into the broadcast booth. So this is the moment here that I think, Alex, you were trying to come out here and get the victory, but overall you still get up here in the booth. You get to say your piece. A little bit different paint scheme tonight, but excellent job.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. They had me in the first half. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I was involved in 4 or 5 wrecks. I totaled out to 6.5 minutes damage, but they couldn't hold this 15 back this week. But I thought we were done over with after the pit stops. We were like 5 seconds behind the lead pack, but we worked our asses off trying to catch them down, and we did. And I got in front of Chad, and I thought that was going to be the place to be because he was kind of staying off me, saving his temps. So I was hoping when it got to the white flag, he would just shove me, and me and my good friend Bailey could just drag race it up to the line. That would have been pretty storybook. But I think Banksy got anxious and threw it middle, and when I went to pick up Banksy, I got into Angelo. I know he's pissed off at me, and I'd love to say he can get me back next week, but he can't. So I hope he's okay. I'll talk to him after this. I know he's pretty mad at me, but this is about as storybook as it could have gone for me to come out here with the top 3 and come out with an interview. And it's a different paint scheme. This is a throwback to the first ever paint scheme I ran with these guys back in January of 2019. So had to throw it back for the last race here, but I'm emotional. I'm sad. That race was a mess. So I haven't had time for that to set in yet, but I love all these guys so much. And I've spent most of my Saturday nights with these guys the last 6 years, and it's going to be a big change not being here. But it's going to be fun watching them on TV with you guys. And this is almost as good as it could have been. Just a little bit short.
Well, we'll try to give you your fix here on VSPEED as much as we can, but I can tell you one thing confidently here, Alex. You're having a kid. I got to ask before I say anything. First time?
Nope. This is a second child. So,
all right.
and
well,
everyone was giving me. Yeah, everyone was giving me crap in the pre-race because when I had the first kid, I semi kind of sort of Mark Martin retired for a season and then came back. And when I told them that I was done this time, they're all like, "Oh no, you're not. You'll be back next season." But no, this is really the end. I am selling my stuff. This is really the end for the time being. So that really hasn't set in yet.
The second one raises itself. The first one takes over. They teach them not to lick the electrical sockets. You'll be fine.
It's really that easy. That's great parenting advice.
Outside of that, Alex, I know that maybe the stuff is going to end up on Marketplace. I'll buy it. I'll keep it on hold in storage for you when you want to come back. Anybody else you want to shout out, though?
Well, I was about to ask who our sponsors were in the broadcast waiting room right as you guys pulled me up. So I got the next best thing. I'm going to try to read these very pixelated images on the contigs. Clark Print Shop, Walking and Rolling Costumes. I know Banksy and his Matco people are sponsoring this too. There's 2 more sponsors there that I cannot read. They're so pixelated. So maybe you guys can help me out with that. But
so we've got Clark Print Shop, I believe,
yep,
is Walking and Rolling Costumes. We got that one.
Got him. Yep.
All right, and then we got FireStorm as well.
FireStorm.
And then
yep.
We got Juicy Spider.
Juicy Spider. There you go. So thank you to all the sponsors that keep this league going. Just once again to Adam, to Jeff, and to all these guys I've been racing with for the last 6 years on these Saturday nights, man. I truly love these guys to death. Thank you guys for broadcasting these things. I know you guys always haven't been our broadcaster, but you guys have been a hell of a good broadcaster. It makes these things fun to go back and watch. And I just thank everyone here. This has been a blast these last 6 years. I'm going to miss not being here.
We appreciate that very, very much. And I don't know what you're saying about me, but I know Connor's a hell of a broadcaster. I'm just here pushing buttons.
Connor, are you here right now, Connor?
Hi. Yes.
Hi, Connor. You pissed me off so many times this last 6 years being so damn fast and so damn unbeatable. It was annoying, bud. I need to get that out there. Yeah, when you're winning every damn race, I bet it's fun for you. God almighty.
Outside of that, Alex, we appreciate your time, man, and we hope to see you back here. I think that comes from everyone here at SNR, that you won't go unnoticed, and your presence here is very welcome whenever the time comes back.
I appreciate it. I hope God blesses me with the opportunity to come back eventually, and you don't have to keep my stuff in storage. If and when I come back, I'm going to direct drive. I'm
going to drive it. I'm going to race on it.
Okay, cool. 100%. I'll sell it to you. I got you a good deal.
Alex Bell, 3rd place here in race number 1, season 4. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, man.
And now the opportunity, we move on up. We have the 2nd place finisher, Adam Cabot, in the number 17. Connor Horn has caught up with him.
Yep, I got Adam Cabot, 2nd place. 2 Bailey Turner, who you're working with so well at the end there. Almost had the move to the inside there, just didn't quite work out. What more did you need to be able to beat him? It looked like he threw too hard of a block to really get through.
I kind of did like a half-ass move, honestly. Like if I really wanted to fully commit, I should have gone a little bit earlier or made it more aggressive a move. But I wanted to make sure that the 2 of us finished 1-2 there, and of course I wanted to win, and second always sucks. But we always work really well together at these tracks, and usually it just kind of unravels in the last lap or 2. So it was nice to actually have that not be the case and just finish one off here. So yeah, congrats to Bailey. Although I think we were tied for most plate wins in this series, so now he's 1 up on me. So I told him next time I'm not taking so easy on him, and I'm gonna turn him if I have to. We gotta do what we have to do. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened in iRacing. I'm sure you guys caught when all of a sudden my car just stopped going, like literally just maxed out at 150. I got a bump draft from the 57. I mean, it wasn't really even a bump draft. He was just tandeming with me for the lead, and all of a sudden, I guess it damaged my car in a way that literally I could not go faster than 150. So I was surprised that everyone was able to keep it off me, and I just dropped to the back, and luckily was able to fix the damage and get back to the front. And it was pretty much green flag, smooth sailing from there. But yeah, Bailey had a really good pit road entry during our green flag stop, so he got past me there, and then yeah, we just stayed green to the end and stayed committed to each other, and it didn't seem like there was really much anyone else could do. So yeah, cool way to start off the season, and glad to be able to help Bailey get the win there.
Obviously, you guys, like I said, you guys are working very well. Once the other drivers got there, you guys got to the top. Were able to control with the side draft. We saw the 09 and the 3 doing that. I think you guys also dealt with that 2 seasons ago, the first time we did this race with the Cup cars. How important is it having the top side to your advantage to be able to side draft? Because it looks darn difficult to do anything from the bottom.
It's super important. I mean, there's a reason why when the pack caught us, when it was just me, Bailey, and Max, we just moved to the top before they even had a chance to get to us, because you'd much rather give someone the inside because you can just easily get down on their left side, left rear, and side draft and pull them back. So I think Bailey and I also have a really good internet connection together, because we just obviously I feel like we do a really good job, but our cars just always really hook up and are pretty stable pushing each other. But yeah, it's all about the top. That's really what it's all about. If you can just get to the top, you don't even necessarily need help. But yeah, racing in this car is so much fun because you can just, I mean, unlike the Xfinity car, you can make moves by yourself, which is really cool. Like every time I went to the back, just shot middle, shot top, and you can be back up in the top 5 within just a couple laps. So a lot of fun. Glad that we were able to keep it green to the end there, and yeah, solid start to the season.
Yeah, definitely a solid start to the season. Not quite what you wanted, but you led a quarter of the laps. You came back from whatever the rear bumper damage was, because that was interesting to watch as well. But come back to get a runner-up finish. Almost got the victory. Anyone you want to thank, shout out.
Shout out to Bailey Turner. Every time we come to these tracks, we usually dominate. So, like I said, it was cool to actually finish 1-2, because usually we lead all the laps and then something crazy happens at the end. But always fun working together with him, and yeah.
Yeah, well, congrats on the 1-2 finish. You guys did it again, almost like how Dega worked for you. You've won 2 in a row at Dega. He's won 2 in a row at Daytona, but I'm sure you were looking to break that up. But still a good finish for you, Adam. Congratulations on the good finish. We will see you either in a week or another time. We'll see.
I'll see you in Victory Lane, Talladega. That's the plan. How about that?
I'll give it to you. We'll see you for
It'll be at Dover, whatever.
Or Dover. See you.
See you guys.
I had to call him out, Connor. I couldn't help it.
I mean, Dover is track fizz.
It'll be sooner than that, probably. But we'll go ahead and go with Talladega, whatever he has to say. Finally, though, Connor, we're going to bring up Victory Lane, and the 24 of Bailey Turner starting the season off right. Puts it all together here at the first race of season number 4. Bailey Turner, I got to say, that Highline, what you did with this next-gen car, I've seen what you can do in this next-gen car outside of these plate tracks. I think this is going to be your season.
Yeah, I mean, this is this is just me and Cabot, really. I mean, I wouldn't even, you can give me props a little bit, but Cabot's the one that, for whatever reason, just whenever we get together on these plate tracks, especially in this next-gen car, we have this thing down, and had a few bumps in the road this race, kind of going front to back. But, when it mattered, I had the 17 car pushing me there, and I really didn't have to do a whole lot. I just had to hold the line.
So midway through the race, we were doing the Pepsi challenge, and it didn't taste like Coca-Cola Zero Sugar here tonight. New paint scheme on that machine. Got to shout out anybody that made that car possible.
Yeah, of course, Dennis Faircloth. I just felt like changing it up a little bit. Celsius has always been the one we always run, but, had to change it up this season. Hopefully that change up sparks a little bit of luck, and we can finally finish one of these things off.
Well, Bailey, phenomenal job here tonight. You put this car up front for probably, I'd say 30%, 40% of the race. I know you said you went to the back of the field. There was a little bit of carnage there. But finally, I have to ask you, does this build momentum going into Texas in this next gen for season number 4?
Yeah, I mean, completely different style of racing there, but at the same time, like you said, just starting the season off with some good momentum. Last season I believe we won the first race of the year as well, and it kind of sparked a fairly good season and kind of trickle off there towards the end with some bad luck with some wrecks and things like that. So, just starting, like I said, starting off good. It's always best to start on top, and that way you have a little bit of a buffer if things go awry middle of the season. But trying to get a run at it. Banks and McWhorter and Jeff, all these guys are so tough that they always make it a challenge. But a new car, presents some new opportunities. So hopefully we can figure it out.
Outside of that, Bailey Turner victorious. Anybody you have to shout out that put this car in victory lane?
Yeah, of course, Adam Cabot, Angelo Ronis over there. Sad boys. I wish unfortunately, he lost the draft and never could quite make it all the way to the front. And also, all the league admins. It's been fun kind of getting this thing organized every Saturday and multiple seasons a year and all that kind of stuff. So it's been real fun. But yeah, also shout out M&J Distributors, Clark Print Shop, and Walking and Rolling Costumes, and of course 29 Graphics.
Appreciate your time up here in the broadcast booth, and we look forward to seeing you in just 7 days' time when we go to the old configuration, Texas. Till then, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
At least I think so. Connor, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're going to the old configuration on both these series.
I don't know for sure on Texas next week, but we'll see next week. But I believe Atlanta's old for sure. Texas might be new.
I know on the Challenger schedule, I see old, so I hope they go to the old Texas. It's much more enjoyable. However, this car does kind of thrive there. It's more of the same there. To put that all together, but you can catch that action starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time here on VSPEED. Make sure to tune in. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, you'll never miss a single race. You'll have me and Jeff right there in just a week's time. And then Connor Horn will be joining me back up here in the booth for the Cup Series presentation. That will happen at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. A lot of oval racing going on here on VSPEED. You can catch us on days that end with Y. So you'll never miss a single race. Go ahead and hit that button. For Adam Baker and everybody that put this together, the people in the admins, I believe Jeff Wright, Chad Klinger, Reggie Ortega. I'm probably missing some names on the people that put this league together for Saturday Night Racing, and our other producers at VSPEED. We say so long from Daytona. Stay tracking, everybody. We'll see you next time.